Welcome back, Shalligators. It's the day after the Super Bowl. And obviously the big story was the Kansas City Chiefs winning, AKA Taylor's boyfriend's team winning, them celebrating. But you know what? There was another story that was developing that we have not touched on because I didn't know about this, which is part of the story. Kim Kardashian was there also with an NFL player, her apparent new boyfriend, Odell Beckham Jr. Why is this interesting to me? Well, for all the fanfare that Taylor and Travis are getting, I mean, we've talked about them a million times on here, and please don't think that I organically care this much. We have things to learn, okay? They are merely the tortoise and the hare that we talk about in a fable. As much attention as Travis and Taylor are getting, Kim and Odell, nothing. We didn't even know that they were together. Maybe you guys did, but there was like only this picture recently from the Super Bowl of them walking through a hotel lobby together to kind of confirm that these dating rumors are real. And apparently they met last May. Has Kim Kardashian, the woman famous for nothing, the woman famous for her sex tape, which by the way, I think that technique, it's a good one. The Kim K Indian burn, it's a good technique. Just try it. Not hard like you're giving an actual Indian burn, but just, she knew what she was doing there. How did Kim manage to keep this so low pro? Is that actually a healthy thing? I asked you guys on my Instagram, what is the topic here after this Super Bowl? And you guys threw a lot of stuff at the wall. Everything from Travis's screaming outburst towards his coach or some old man on the sidelines. I really don't know who he was. And maybe a red flag about a really bad temper to keeping your relationship low pro and how not to get kind of caught up in the hype and the applause about your relationship. Because listen, you don't have to be a celebrity to be posting things on Instagram and to have people kind of up in your business when it comes to your relationship, either in a positive way and they're so into you and this boy that you're dating, or in a negative way where maybe they're inserting themselves into your relationship. And of course, the tea with Kim and Odell is that, what did some quote tell Us Weekly? Kim's family just wholeheartedly approves him. They really feel like they know him. Yeah, do you know why that is? Because he might have already boned Chloe back in 2016. Okay. We're going to get into it. Will there be lessons in here? Honestly, I don't know, man. Leave me alone. But before we do get into it, something new to tell you guys about. There is a new way to connect with me one-on-one. If you need some help, if you have a question you need me to answer, whether it's about boys, Valentine's Day, bosses, mother-in-laws, sister-in-laws, friends, enemies, anything in between, now you can find me on passes.com. It's an easy way to connect. You can click send a message, and you can decide if you want to get an audio note response from me or a little custom video. And I get back to you in 48 hours. And it's me. It's not like a bot. Can you imagine? No, there's no AI that could replicate my particular brand of insanity, and I certainly will never try or encourage it to do so. So go to passes.com. It's not an app. You don't have to download anything. You can do it from any country in the world. And like I said, I get back to you in 48 hours. I'm so excited to finally have an option back again where you guys can ask questions and we can connect one-on-one. If you want to connect with me and 800 other besties from around the world, then the Shalontourage is the place for you. It is our cozy little corner of the internet, 5 videos a week. We do deep advice dives, story times. I'm going to tell you something that's going on in a second. And you get all of my exclusive content and courses. The sexy session hookup tutorials, 13 hours of like me telling you how to give blowjobs and hand jobs, okay? And everything in between and beyond. Let's see, you get Evil Week from the last 2 years. You get this year's Valentines Day content, which I think is some of my best. It is how to get what you deserve, how to level up the type of guy you date, how to level up your mindset so that you are in the headspace of, no, I deserve good things. Better dates, better sex, better gifts. It's not too late before Valentine's Day, and we are running a flash sale, 20% off your first month in the Shalontourage. You use code Valentines. I'm sorry that I'm a little spacey today. I'm in the dumpies. I broke up with my boyfriend on Thursday. Yeah, right before Valentine's Day, because you can't do it after. That's worse. And I know it was the right thing to do. And he is the best person. He really is. But we're just at two different places. Really, Shallon? I couldn't have seen that coming considering he was 23 and you're, don't you say. But I know that. I know. And it's like when you, honestly, I think he's in a more mature place than I am, if I'm being real with you. He is a very secure attachment style person. And I'm just kind of a mess right now. I mean, I'm not a mess, but I just realized there were some things that I need to clean up. And unlike what men do to us all the time, where we're the rehab for broken men, I didn't really feel like doing that to him and damaging him any more than I might have already. And I don't know. I don't want to spill our business and everything. He's a pretty private person. Most quality people are, which we're going to talk about in this video. But yeah, fucking Valentine's Day, not like it would be easier if it wasn't. No, I think it would. I think it would be easier. Have I told you guys that I have been dumped on 2 consecutive Valentine's Days? You ready for this? In New York, when I was living in New York, I think I was like 26 and 27. 2 consecutive ones by 2 different guys. One dumped me on actual Valentine's night. He came over. I was all dressed up. I had been so excited all day. Like, you're like dancing around the office. You're like, la, la, la. And he brought me this big like piece of art that I had really liked. And he's like, it's like a Valentine / friendship gift. And I'm like, did you say friendship gift? He's like, yeah. And he dumped me and left. The next year, I think it was worse because he broke up with me on February 13th, the night before. And I was like devastated. Ugh, I hate him. Anyway, so I had to go to work the next day and see everyone getting their flower deliveries and talking about their plans. And I was like inside out with misery. It was horrible. So if you're going to break up with someone, do it on Valentine's night, not February 13th. Just my little 2 cents. All right. Travis and Taylor. First, let's talk about his outburst on the field because I think that this is worth noting. Actually, hold on. We gotta back this up because I know we talked last video about the Grammys and the recap of the Grammys. Lana was nominated in the same category. Taylor won, Lana lost, and when she lost, she looked shattered, honestly. Like, I felt so bad for her. I always feel bad for anyone who loses. Like, they're so hopeful and they're so excited. Like, it is cool that you get nominated, but you want to win. And Taylor drug Lana up on stage with her to accept an award that her best friend had just lost. Now, I, in my infinite naivete, viewed this as kind of sweet. Like, hey, this is your award too. You deserve to win it too. It's not like she said to Lana or said in the mic, she deserved to win this too. So actually, we're going to share this award. We're going to share it. I want to hear her acceptance speech. No, she just made Lana stand there and witness from far too close Taylor's acceptance. When you look at it that way, Lana was clearly upset. And sometimes being literally on stage with cameras on you when you're upset is actually not the most healing thing. Who could have predicted that? And so a lot of you guys said that was a real mean girls bitch move. And I do kind of see it that way. I don't know that Taylor is like, I don't know that she was calculating about that. I think in this one rare instance, she was not calculating. I think maybe she did mean well, but it was just wrong. And maybe she is so unaccustomed to meaning well, it just doesn't come out right, like a pony on roller skates. Like, you need more practice before you try this. This is not great for you. I don't know. What do you guys think about it? I mean, they seem to be close again at the Super Bowl, but only one person in that dynamic has an incentive to suck up to the other, and it's Lana to Taylor. Sorry, Taylor's a much bigger star. Lana's cooler. I think she's cooler. But Taylor was the one in the box suite and Lana was in the stands. So they said hello and then suddenly Lana's up in the box. Okay, yeah. Maybe if I was going to be in a box suite at the Super Bowl, I would play nice as well. What do you guys think about this? Okay, now let's talk about Travis's outburst. If you didn't see it, I think he got pulled out of the game and went, apparently what he said to this old man on the sidelines, who I assume is some sort of coach, I don't know, was screaming, like foaming at the mouth, screaming in his face. What apparently he said was, keep me in the fucking game. Keep me in the fucking game. And people like, whoa, red flag, horrible temper, CTE, rah, 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 rah. And the coach was just like, okay. Like a dad used to a toddler having a tantrum, you know? In Travis's defense, okay, I think it's hard for us non-professional athletes to get a sense of the adrenaline that's going through those men and to get a sense of the scope of what this means to them. It's not just they've worked all year for this. It's not they've worked their whole career for this. They have worked for this their entire life. I mean, these boys probably started playing football when they were like 7. And what is the ultimate goal? The Super Bowl. You're also now the most famous football player thanks to your girlfriend. Like the amount of energy coursing through him in that moment, I don't think is something I will ever experience. And frankly, I don't know that I want to. So I am going to give him a bit of a pass on the intensity. You can't achieve things like being in the Super Bowl without being a fairly intense person. And people fail to see this about like celebrities and very like high level people. It's like they're not built like the rest of everybody. They're not metered and very well regulated and they've got a good sense of balance and work-life balance. They're fucking nuts. Okay, they're nuts. You have to be nuts to be an Oscar winner, to like get really into some weird character, to be a professional athlete, to be a politician, to be a top influencer, which I'm not, even though I'm crazy enough. You see what I mean? Like you are just not built like everyone else. This is not to say that, hey, he should be allowed to be violent. Well, of course not, man. Of course not. Obviously. But it does say he's allowed to be intense. And intensity can be a little jarring. Now, of course, the fear is he takes that intensity into like regular situations at TGI Fridays or something bizarre. I don't know. Maybe he does, maybe he doesn't. When I think about the athletes I know who were like him, because I've dated a lot and I've known a lot, mine skew towards hockey and rodeo. You know what though? I gotta say, when they were like crazy menaces on the ice, they were pretty much the same way off the ice. They were dialed down a little, they really were, but it was still there. And you just didn't know whether it was gonna bubble up at a very inopportune time. Not that these people were like violent, but they were intense and they weren't always very well regulated and they weren't always even keeled and predictable. Some of them were violent, but a lot of them weren't. So yeah, I don't know. Maybe we saw the mask drop with Travis and we're like, oof. Taylor loves to destroy people, obviously, after they break up. I mean, my God, rest in peace is Joe Alwyn for what's coming down the pipeline for you with that Tortured Poets, whatever that album is called. A year from now, are we going to get a Travis Kelce, You're So Violent and Abusive shred album? I don't know. I don't know. I'm just trying to look at this with a little bit more nuance than just like, he's violent, leave him. I mean, maybe he is and maybe he isn't, but I don't know that that's enough data to tell that. Like when you're in that environment, that pressure cooker, I would scream at someone too. That doesn't mean I'm going to slash their tires or punch out the person I'm dating. Those don't always mean the same thing. Sometimes they do. What do you guys think about that? Was that like, oh shit, you saw it and there's no going back? Or are you like, yeah, well, when you put it that way, like what an extreme, intense situation. He's going to have reactions that people just sitting in the stands or watching this from their lazy boy are maybe not going to understand. But then you could say, well, why isn't everyone doing that on the field? You know, it's funny. Nobody else was up in a coach's face shoving him and being physically intimidating. Why exactly is he? Because he can't control himself? That is a red flag, and you'd be right. You'd be very right. Also, we need to touch on how shitty Taylor dressed. My friend said it right. This woman can't slay to save her life. You can wear anything to a football game. Anything. You can wear a ball gown. You could wear leggings. The world is yours, okay? And she chooses to wear, I said this on my Insta, Home Depot utility jeans with homemade rips and Joann's fabric iron-on bedazzled fringe. And a corset. Usher, did you like it? why did this man not play My Way, which is like truly the sounds I will hear when I cross the threshold into the gates of heaven, or the best song he's ever sang, which is More? The lyrics to More are like a jock jam. I'm a beast, I'm an animal, I'm the monster in the mirror. Rah! Like that's exactly what you should be playing at a sporting event. Didn't play either. But don't worry, Alicia Keys was there to play My Boo. Why does she worm her way into everything? And I feel like Ludacris does too. I feel like, and Little John, why was Jermaine Dupri there? Everybody, moving on. Let's talk about Kim and Odell. We got to start with Chloe. We got to take it all the way back to 2016. I don't know what month this happened. 2016 was a turning point for civilization because that's when they shot Harambe, the gorilla. I swear to God, that was the domino that fucked us all. That was the first domino to fall. Nothing has been the same. Nothing has been the same. Okay. Another domino that could have tipped us into oblivion was possibly Chloe and Odell. So they were photographed at a party at Drake's house. He was sitting on a counter, classy, and she was kind of like standing between his legs, like trying to talk to him. And then like another shot where she was like kind of leaning back. Speculation ran wild. Odell gave a pretty shitty response to this. He's like, what is everyone talking about dating? This is the second conversation I only had with this person. This person? Wow, how gentlemanly. I just feel like there would have been a way for him to be a bit more gracious if nothing actually happened. Be like, you know what? Oh my gosh, Chloe and I were having so much fun. The tequila was flowing, whatever. Nope, not dating, but whoever she ends up with is a lucky man. Well, she ended up with Tristan Thompson, so I don't know how much blessings from above anointed that relationship, but fine. He was a bit of a dick about it. What do you guys think about Odell? I've heard he's kind of the Kanye West of the NFL in general, sort of chaotic and wasting his talent via his chaos, or has he just had a lot of injuries? I don't know anything about these people. Please just educate me in the comments. Can't promise I'll read them because I don't care. I would ask who these people are, but I don't care. So now he's apparently with Kim. So in between whatever potentially happened with Chloe, which judging by these photos, and if these photos are the only evidence that exists, kind of looks like she was shooting her shot and maybe he wasn't into it, especially given how he spoke about her afterwards. I kind of think it's a bit of a nothing burger. I actually don't really think they hooked up. You know, I don't know. Maybe, I really don't think that they did. So he started dating this chick, Lauren Wood, in 2019. They had a baby named like Zin or Zyn. There's no vowels in that name, so I have no idea. Z-Y-D-N. Zyn. It's like a chainsaw starting up. I don't know. And people are calling Kim a homewrecker. They're saying that she is actually taking a page from Chloe's playbook and stealing a man away from his baby mama and his newborn. I'm sorry, that actually, from everything that I'm reading and all the tea I'm uncovering is not true. Him and Lauren broke up in January or February of last year. He didn't even meet Kim or start hanging out with her. He probably met her at some point before that until May or July, like in that range. Is that a fast turnaround time? Yeah. You know what? Shit happens. I mean, I'm sorry. When we break up with someone, when someone leaves us, they should go into the obvious and mandatory grieving period of 8 to 10 years. Is that too much to ask? That's ridiculous. More often than not, people kind of monkey vine. And you know, sometimes you get out of a relationship and it was bad for a long time and you're just fucking ready to move on. You're ready. But I mean, let's figure it was maybe 6 months. I don't think that that's an insane timeline. And it certainly doesn't fall under the category of homewrecker. Sorry. I just don't buy that. I really don't like that narrative for Kim. Not that she is like an unimpeachably moral person. We know she is not. But in this case, I don't think that that's an appropriate thing to blame her about. But we got to talk about the differences between these two relationships. One is so public to the point that I'm just getting like face fucked by Travis and Taylor 24/7. And the other one, we barely even know it exists. It's like a hologram. There's more pictures of Bigfoot than Kim and Odell. What are the pros and cons? Because this was overwhelmingly your number one topic. When I asked you on my Instagram, follow me, ShallonXO. I give you tons of little pep talks, tons of Valentine's Day pep talks. So if you need some like reels and some like hype man stuff, I got you, girl. This was it. When and why to keep a relationship quiet. Different reasons behind not wanting to flaunt your relationship. As I said before, I am a public person. I don't mean my job. I just mean I'm like, bleh, like I just tell my business. I'm a blabbermouth. I've heard about sanity and dignity. I don't really participate in either one of those. That being said, I do tend to keep my relationships quiet. Posting Evan, it's crazy to call him my ex now. I trust that the universe has wonderful things in store for both of us. And maybe it's down the line, things are different. I don't know. Life is really long. Have I ever told you that my mom's best friend just remarried her first husband? She had 2 husbands after that. And I was like, Sherry, oh my God, did you have to wait that long for him to grow up? And she's like, no, I had to grow up. Fuck, girl. Drag us all to hell. Anyway, yeah, Evan was like pretty much the first person I had posted in, I don't know, like a year and a half. Like I keep things pretty low pro. Like I'll talk about them with you guys. I talk a lot about my relationships and the Shallon. But in terms of like plastering things all over social media, I really don't. If for no other reason, like it's easy to announce. How do you unannounce? You know? How do you unannounce? Do you issue a press release? Like you're a celebrity when you break up with someone? That feels kind of weird. Do you just scrub your profile from all traces, scrub everything off your profile so that it looks like you never dated this person? I personally don't do that. Unless someone like severely wronged me, I leave it up there. Social media is, for me, a diary. It's memory keeping. I'm not ashamed of these relationships. They were wonderful for a time. And I don't think that we have to pretend that they never happened. I find that kind of immature, but I know that that's a very controversial stance. Everyone has a very strong opinion on this and it might not be mine. So I totally get it. If you're like, no, I have to get this person off my fucking page. I totally get that. Or if you're like, well, I think it's disrespectful to the next person I date, that it's like, oh, well, here you go. It's just like a laundry list of her body count. I get that. So what are the pros and cons with being super public? As I sit here, as public of a person as I am, and as much as I want, we all want to be in that Taylor and Travis, Kourtney Kardashian and Travis Barker, maybe it's just a Travis thing, kind of love, where you're just like, just over the top and hearts for eyes and posting and smooching and gooey captions. Don't we all want to be in that kind of love? We do. I want that for all of us. I don't know if I want the demonstrativeness. I don't know if I want that for all of us. I want that feeling for all of us. Do I want to see that plastered all over social media? And that has nothing to do with me just being single and bitter, just a bit of a hag right now. I don't know that that's the healthiest thing for us, despite how much we want to be in that kind of love. As I sit here, I am pretty hard pressed to find the pros. I'm pretty hard pressed. I was gushier than I ever had been with my ex-husband. Posted him, he was my spouse, so I was going to post him. And everything we posted was like beautiful and curated, as social media always is. And that was one of the things I think really that hurt our marriage. Why? Because I started to believe our own hype. I started to look at the pictures that I was posting from this almost like detached outsider perspective and be like, oh my God, we are this golden couple. It was very self-aggrandizing. People need us to be this incredible couple that's got it all figured out. And because I bought into that hype, I was not willing to bring up things that were starting to fracture in our relationship. I was not willing to look at the reality of what was going on behind those smiles and those perfect poses. And because I wasn't willing to look that in the face, it became cancerous. Things that could have been nipped in the bud maybe fairly early on were allowed to fester. My husband, wonderful, incredible, wonderful man. Not particularly confrontational. And so if I didn't bring things up and he didn't bring things up and nothing got brought up, and again, things would fester and resentment would seep in. And all of that would move us further and further and further from each other. And you then re-entrench in that self-mythology. We are the golden couple. Like, I can't just go back on this. Everyone knows that I'm happy. Everyone knows I have a boyfriend. How many of you guys, when you came here to this video and clicked today, knew and thought a lot about the fact that I had a boyfriend? Probably not many of you. You're busy living your own life. You know, when I brought it up, you're like, oh yeah. But like, it doesn't really mean that much to anybody else. Dr. Phil says, we wouldn't care so much what people thought about us if we knew how seldom they did. It's easy to buy into your own hype though. And when you do that, your relationship inevitably suffers because it becomes an entity outside of yourself. There's Taylor, there's Travis, and then there's Taylor and Travis. There's Brad and Angelina, and then there's hashtag Brangelina, right? It becomes this other thing, and you don't have to be a celebrity for this to happen. This is kind of a weird phenomenon that I don't think our psychology has caught up to, thanks to social media. Like, technology is outpacing our own evolution by a lot. And so we do these things and we're demonstrative like this. And our brain is like, what? Like, our brain just can't quite catch up to it. And it doesn't have a concept of what it means for us as the individuals in the relationship, a relationship that happens IRL, not just on social media. We can get our head around one, reality. We can get our head around performance, celebrity. The hybrid of these two, it's a lot more nuanced, and we don't necessarily have a clear understanding of where one ends and the other begins. And again, this is dangerous. When you keep something private, it's maybe cherished a little bit more. Can I read you guys something weird? This is going to be weird. You're going to be like, what the fuck? I know. Okay, just hold on a second. So one thing Evan and I would do is we would go to church. And I miss that. I really miss that. And he went to that church before I did. And so that's something he gets to keep, and I will move on from that, which makes me sad, but I still get texts from the church, which makes me even sadder. And I'm not a particularly religious person. I like church. It's a nice reset. You know, it's a good way to kind of get your mind right. I like the sermons. I literally hate the music at church. I only do this, like, bask in the glory when I am listening to Bieber, okay? And these my own personal, like, hymnals. Anyway, yeah, church is like, I like the sermons. I don't have to feel any particular intensity towards Jesus in order to get things out of the sermons. But there was something, they sent a Bible verse. Just hear me out here. We talked about this in the Shallon on Sunday, and I did a whole deep dive on this. But I think it relates to this as well. Okay, it's from Matthew 6:6. When you pray, go into your room. And when you have shut your door, pray to your Father who is in the secret place. And your Father who sees in secret will reward you openly. Now listen, Jesus is chill, of course. We can use Jesus in this context the same way we would use Travis and Taylor. It's a means to impart some wisdom. It's just a jumping off point for a conversation. So don't get too wrapped up in this if it's not floating your boat. Pray to your Father. Pray to God who is in the secret place. Go into your room, shut the door, and pray in this secret place, because you know what? That's where God is. That's where the good stuff is. It's in the secret place. And when you go to this secret place and you're like, Jesus, God, universe, ancestors, my intuition, whatever name you want to give to it, when you can go into the secret place, the good stuff happens out in the open. The good stuff doesn't stay in the secret place. It happens in the open. What am I saying? Maybe relationships are like that. Maybe our relationship with God or a higher power, whatever, is like that. Maybe our relationship with the people in our life is like that too. The secret place. What is a secret place? Well, when you think about your friends and the best nights you have with your friends, it's sitting on the couch, drinking wine and laughing, and like when someone says something funny and you guys just keep building on it and you just laugh more and more until you're like foaming at the mouth. You're having so much fun. That's the secret place. That's the secret place, right? The secret place is you with your dog, nose to nose. Just he's snoring and he's having his like dog paw dreams, and you're like, fuck, this is a secret place. This is so amazing. And then God rewarding you openly that fills you up. You feel loved by your friends. You feel rejuvenated spending time with your dog, and you take it out into the open and you're like, Yes, let's face life. I love this. That makes sense, right? Same with a relationship. The secret place, the wonderful times with your partner. It's the pillow talk. It's cutting vegetables. It's getting drunk on $2 martinis at happy hour and then throwing up later. Those are the secret places. It is the things that happen between the two of you. Yeah, when you like hit that perfect pose. Like, no, just can you make your face look not like that? Blake, can you just pretend? Okay, laugh. Okay, ha ha, with a fake laugh. Ha. Take $1 million. I'm a white woman. Kristen, can you take $1 million? Thank you. That's nice when you get that shot and like, yes. That's not the secret place. That is not where the building of your relationship happens. It happens in private. And I think it's a scientific fact. Like this is no longer theory. I think this has been proven and studied that the people who are most demonstrative and over the top and showy with their relationship have the worst ones. I had this theory. I knew this. I had this theory. If you've ever been married or engaged, you probably know this too. The people who focus the most on their wedding, who have these like endless needs for their wedding, a scentscape of diptyque candles. That was me, unfortunately. Like the perfect getaway car with the perfect sign and embossed invitations that just go down these insane rabbit holes of like OCD. I believe they do that to distract themselves from the fact that their relationship is not where it should be. There's something to be said for the longevity of couples who elope. Like, hey, it's just us. It's just us in the secret place, saying our vows to each other on this beach, in this city hall. You know, we took the subway here. When I think about my friends, and I include myself in this, the ones who were the most bridezilla, most of them are divorced. And again, I am including myself. The people who have eloped have all stayed together. Isn't that interesting? Huh. So yeah, when it comes to keeping things a secret, but listen, there is a difference. We talked about this in the Shallontrage. There is a difference between secret and private. And I think in this day and age, we talked about this also in the Shallontrage, people use the two interchangeably. That something's secret. No, it's private. Like going through someone's phone, okay? I would never let someone go through my phone. Not ever. I wouldn't let my best friend, my mom, maybe my mom, my boyfriend, and people like, why? What are you trying to hide? Nothing. It's simply private. I'm trying to protect the privacy of the people I'm talking to. I'm not ashamed. I'm not hiding something. It's simply private. I feel that way about my body. I've never sent a nude in my life. All the photos I have sent, oh my God, can someone leak them? Just a few, because they're great. They're like Maxim, not like Playboy, you know? But you know, when guys are like, oh, look, don't be ashamed of your body. I am not, actually. I am not ashamed of my body. It's private. But it's difficult because, again, in this day and age where social media is now, it's just part of life, right? I know a lot of people who get in fights because a guy won't post them. Like he won't claim them. So listen, if that's the position you're in and you have this this reaction to not wanting to post the guy you're dating, like ever, or acknowledge that you're in a relationship or anything like that, just sit with that and unpack it a little bit. It might be something fairly benign, like, listen, you don't understand what my family's like. It's just going to be text after text and bring him here. And then you're going to have to deal with fucking Aunt Phyllis and Uncle Marty and blah, blah, blah. Like, if you have a reason that is usually rooted in protection of that secret place and of that bond you have, that should be fairly easy to communicate to your partner. You got to be real with yourself. If the reason you don't want to post someone doesn't have an easily explainable reason, maybe it is shame. Maybe it's not shame, but maybe you're hedging your bets. Like, you know what? I don't know how long this is going to last, and I'm not sure I want to scare my ex off. So I'm not actually going to post us. Maybe I'll post them on Snapchat where my ex doesn't follow me or whatever. I don't think I want to post. I don't think I want to do that. No. That's going to be a little harder to explain. And you know what? We need to walk in the light of the truth about why a man won't post us. I have a friend who is in this exact position. Her boyfriend of a year won't post her. She's posted him many times. He won't do it. And I'm like, I bet that makes you feel like he's ashamed of you. She's like, yeah, it does. I was like, I've got news for you. He is. But hold on a minute. I say that with conviction because there are so many other data points that say he's ashamed of her. She's not allowed to meet his family. A year. His friends, he will flat out say, my friends aren't going to like you. You're divorced. They're not going to like you. Don't even get me fucking started. I know. Don't even get me fucking started. But I'm like, this is not an outlier, okay? This is emblematic of the overall attitude he has towards your relationship, which is, it's fine behind closed doors. You want the secret place, but yeah, you also want some of the public place. You don't want only the public place. You don't want only the secret place. As with most things that we discuss here, it's the middle path. If someone is getting preoccupied with you posting or not posting them, unpack it. What does Instagram mean to you, babe? What does it mean to you as an individual? If you're like, hey, it really pisses me off that my boyfriend won't just post a picture of us. And you know what? He claims me in every other way. I've met his family. We go on vacation. I just don't understand why he just won't post me then. I mean, I can't answer that for you. I don't know. Maybe he does have an ex that he's still a little twisted on, and that's just a bridge too far. Maybe him not posting, maybe it has nothing to do with an ex. Maybe he's preserving the secret place. And he's like, yeah, I only want you to know the people in my actual life who I care about, not these dicks I went to high school with. I don't need that to expose our relationship to these people. Is he private overall? And more importantly, like I said about my best friend, is this publicness emblematic of a larger issue? Is it one more link in a chain? If it isn't, girl, let it go. When you look at your relationship overall, are you being claimed in the way that you want to? And if you are, can you let this Instagram thing go? Like I said, social media has advanced way faster than our brains. People truly don't have a concept of how many people they're speaking to when they post something. Like we don't. I think I heard, I forget who it was, but they're like, this is the first time in history that anyone other than a king has been able to address more than like 4,000 people at once or 2,000 or whatever it is. That was simply not done. And now you can talk to millions of people, hundreds of thousands. Our brain cannot conceptualize what this actually looks like or means. I have here on this channel 7 times the following of the population of Montana. 7 times. Who the fuck can conceptualize that? And I'm not even a big deal, right? That's pretty wild. So when we're like, why won't he post me? Why won't he post me? Literally his brain might just not understand it. And it just might be too much and too scary and too out there. Okay? But again, maybe not. Maybe not. Maybe, girl, this is that link in the shame chain where it's like, he doesn't want to claim me. And when I pull back and I look at our relationship as a whole, we only hang out at night. I don't know any of his fucking friends. He's not committing to me. I'm getting inordinately focused on Instagram. But listen, he could post me 30 stories a day. That is not going to create in the secret place the relationship I want. I cannot get too preoccupied with that, whether it's a win or a loss, whether he's not posting me at all or he's hyper posting me. But actually, when I think about it, our relationship is pretty bad. It's pretty unstable. It's pretty hollow and shallow because we don't have the secret place. We only have the public place. If I had to pick for you, I would say go secret place over public place any day of the week and twice on Sundays. Build something real. Because you know what? When you're in a real happy relationship, honey, people know. They feel it. They see it. You move different. Who cares if you're tagging somebody? Who cares? Also ask yourself, why is it important for you to show that you have a boyfriend or, that you're in a relationship? I'm not saying that it shouldn't be. Come on, we all want to look like someone loves us. That's all right. But if you are again, inordinately focused on this. Ask yourself why. What do you imagine that's going to save you from? Will it legitimize you? I fall into that trap. Look what I do for a living. Of course it needs to look like I have a boyfriend. Like, hello? But then it's like, does it though? Does it? Can I be smart without a man? Oh, yes. Can I be wise even if I'm not getting piped out for a few weeks? I think so, yeah. I think men only kind of make you dumber sometimes. Make you a little dumber. So ask yourself, like, what does this mean? Why is it so important? And can we give ourselves that reassurance in the secret place? I want to know what you guys have to say. Tell me about the Super Bowl. Do you think Travis is a walking red flag? Is Taylor a walking red flag? Tell me about Lana, and the Grammys. And if you had to be in a relationship, do you go the Kim K Odell secret place route? Or do you go over the top Travis and Taylor? Okay, I will see you later, Shalligators. We're gonna be back next time talking about something different. I don't even know what. Hopefully it's not Taylor. I love you guys so much.